All right, what's up, my brother? So in this video, we're going to be talking about alcohol. I had a viewer request that I cover this topic and what my opinion is of it. You notice I'm in a different vehicle today. For those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, my car's in the shop for some routine maintenance, and they gave me a Q7, the ultimate mom soccer taxi, I think. All right, so back to alcohol. Let's kind of frame it from this position. I'll start with my history with it, because pretty much everybody out there has a relationship with it. I remember being even in high school, and we'd call each other and be like, yo, my parents are out, let's have some Baileys. And that was our thing, you know, to have some Irish cream and sort of chill out and sip on that and just kind of like, you know, be boys or men, you know, at the time is what we thought we were doing. So here in Canada, the drinking age is 19. You know, bars, strip clubs, all that stuff, nightclubs, they're all open to you, and they all serve alcohol at that time. I drank a lot of it. I'll be honest with you. It's something that has been consumed in, I'd probably say, embarrassing quantities. If I'm being honest, I mean, the TL too long didn't read or didn't watch version of it it's pretty much a waste of time. But I'm going to explain why in this. So, started out with the bars and nightclubs, moved to bottle service. That shit gets expensive, you know, $1,000, $1,500, you know, here and there for a bottle or two. I think bills at night were like a few $1,000s. Then you start going to places like Las Vegas in my early 30s when I started making more money, and we traveled to go party, you know, and be all cool and shit. And you think you're cool sitting there at a nightclub table, you know, in the lounge, and there's bottles everywhere with lights and sparklers and stuff. And I remember one time I brought a buddy of mine up. He was, he was an employee at the time, and I was kind of hanging out with a bunch of guys that were entrepreneurs. And we had this girl serving us, and he leans over. He's like, dude, she's a Playboy Playmate. I used to jerk off to her. So it's like, these are the places that, you know, expensive bottles of alcohol take you. Ibiza, did that a few times. I got a friend that lives out there, and he's acquired some real estate. So I've traveled around, I've done it all, and I'll tell you a few things. First of all, anytime something stupid, shitty went down in my life, alcohol was a common denominator in the equation. It's not, there's almost no upside to it that I can think of. There's some people that'll argue, well, if you drink red wine, then it's got, you know, those chemicals, I think it's called resveratrol in it, and, you know, it's good for you. And I think from all the studies that I've seen, at best it's a wash, meaning like it's even. At worst, it's still not good for you. And why would you guzzle wine when you can have resveratrol capsules, which are good for you? So, you know, there's an answer to that, of course. I'm not a big fan of it. In fact, I hardly even touch it today. I have friends, you know, when I'll get together with them, and it's like they have bottles of whiskeys and cigars and all sort of stuff, and it's like, I rarely touch it. I mean, to be honest with you, my thing might be still to have that nice glass of Bailey's with some ice, sitting in the hot tub, chilling out with my chick, just enjoying watching the snowfall in the wintertime. That might be the rare occasion when I'll touch it. But aside from that, guys, I'm just being honest with you. It's not a good use of your time and your money. It's fun to invite into your life and to do things with your friends and to go out to places. But looking back in the rearview mirror in hindsight at what I had done and how much time and money I'd spent on booze, and a lot of the dumb shit that happened when booze was involved in the equation, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to compare, contrast parallel lives, because I can't split myself and live those two lives in parallel. But I can say that pretty much all the time bad shit happen when booze is involved, and it's expensive, and it's time consuming, and it's not good for your body, and it damages your liver, and it fucks with your sleep. If you want to learn a lot more about alcohol, I'd recommend watching some of the podcasts that Andrew Huberman's done. And one of the things that I've had to fix in my life in the last few years, which I'm going to do a separate podcast in the Unplugged Alpha playlist. I'll put a card up in the top right. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go there. But one of the things I noticed is that alcohol is it's got a very bad effect on your sleep. You don't sleep as deeply. You don't get the same restful amount of sleep. You're probably getting up because you got to take a piss, or you might be sweating or something like that. You have headaches because you haven't, you know, drank enough water, or you're dehydrated. Really, there's no upside to it, aside from, do you want to look cool holding a glass or a bottle in a picture for your friends and the day clubs and the nightclubs and whatever else? You can do it. Doesn't impress me. It probably would have impressed me when I was 25, but today I look at it and I'm like, that's dumb shit. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it, and I would discourage you from inviting alcohol in your life to a significant degree. I was lucky. I mean, I never had a addiction to vices. Like, I've never had an addictive personality to alcohol, cigarettes, weed, any of those things. I'll do a separate video on weed, by the way, in the future, because, you know, they were asking me to deal with that in the same video, but it's really a separate topic. But I've had friends that with addictive personalities have had way worse outcomes than I have in their years, and they're paying for it today in a very negative way. Like, alcohol for some people is exceptionally bad, and if you have an addictive personality and it turns into something where every time you touch it, horrible things happen, like there's bad things that happen, kind of like with what I dealt with, but horrible things, dude, it's just not worth it. So my advice is, use that time and money for other things. I know most people won't listen to that or agree with it, but you know, young men and young women are going to do what they do. You know, your 20s are your party years, as they say. Woohoo! Vegas! Woohoo! Ibiza! You know, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or whatever happens to be, all of these things are like pushed on you as a function of historical, you know, values with culture and society today. You know, it's cool to be drunk. It's cool to drink. But I can tell from my experience, it's not. I mean, if I could go back in a time machine and redo my 20s over again from the time I was 19, I'd probably spend a fuck of a lot less time around booze and alcohol. And I'm going to talk about weed in a future video. So make sure, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and the notification bell, and you will be notified when I make that video. Pinned to the top comment is a bunch of useful links to my book, my website, and a bunch of stuff. Hit the like button for the algorithms, and you guys tell me what you think. You leave a comment below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Peace out.